Hey guys, what's up? MadSeason here, back with another video for you. A common question I get on my channel or from newer players or just people leveling alts is what should I do at level 110? Well, the answer is lots of different stuff, so I thought it might be video worthy to make sort of a starter guide for all of you fresh 110s out there. The very first thing I recommend doing before anything else is to work on your artifact knowledge. Once you hit level 110, you should have a new quest pop up in your order hall, and it'll have you start work orders for artifact research notes, which increase the amount of artifact power you gain. For fresh players, they do have a handy catch-up mechanic. You should also get a quest that allows you to instantly complete a work order over and over up to level 15. This is just so you're not so far behind everyone else. It does cost some order hall resources, 500 for each turn-in, so 7,500 in total from 1 to 15. But you should have gotten some of these resources on your way to 110 from killing rares and completing world quests, so it's not too bad. It does stop at 15 though, and from there you just gotta wait on those research notes to pop up. But if it's not your first 110 and you have some artifact knowledge on your main, you can boost yourself a little more efficiently. So hold off on that repeatable quest if that's the case. There's a catch-up mechanic to where you can buy bind on account tomes that increase your artifact knowledge level to 5 levels lower than your highest attained in increments of 5. So that means if you hit 15 on your main, you can buy a tome that gives you level 10, if you hit 20 you can get one that gives you level 15, and if you hit level 22 you still only get the level 15 tome since it's in increments of 5. This costs way less than doing that repeatable quest, so you always want to buy the tomes if they're available to you, and if you can only buy the level 5 or 10 tomes, you can just finish it off with the repeatable quest. Regardless if that's your first 110 or not though, you're always going to want to have these work orders running up until level 25, which is the current cap, and 40 if you're watching this post 7.2. And while you're in your order hall, make sure you're always doing the order hall upgrades. You should have gotten a quest to start this at around level 101, but just make sure that you're always having these rolling as well, because the last one allows you to equip another legendary item. These are super powerful items that drop from a bunch of different sources in game. Dungeons, raids, world quest caches, etc. They're pretty rare, so it's rather common to take a while to even get 2 of them, but you don't want to be in a situation to where you do get lucky and you get 2 pretty quickly, but you can't equip them because you've been neglecting these upgrades. It does take quite a lot of order resources. There are a couple of ways to get them though, and I'll go over that in a bit. Now that you got all of your order hall stuff squared away, the next thing I recommend is to start on your world quests. These are pretty self-explanatory. You unlock them as soon as you hit 110 now, no reps needed, and they're pretty similar to your normal quests. They all have timers to show you when they expire, and new ones are added randomly every 4 hours. Also, each day at reset time, you'll get a quest on the bottom left-hand corner of your map called an emissary quest. To complete these, you need to complete quests for certain factions or zones. The Court of Ferrandis in Asuna, the Dreamweavers in Val'Shara, the High Mountain Tribe in High Mountain, the Valor Jar in Stormheim, and the Nightfallen in Suramar. You also have the Wardens in Kirin Tor, the world quests for which appear in any of the zones. And upon completing the emissary, a question mark will pop up on the map for whatever zone you finished it for. Just head over there to get a cache that'll have a piece of gear in either gold, artifact power, or order hall resources. The first one in particular you want to knock out is the world boss one. Each week, one of your world quests will be purple, and it'll ask you to kill one of the various world bosses in the Broken Isles, chosen at random. They drop eye level 860 plus loot, so it's a good way to snag a huge upgrade right off the bat. Before heading out, make sure you stop by coordinates 5767 in Dalaran and purchase a Seal of Broken Fate. These allow you to do a bonus roll on these bosses, giving you a better chance at loot. Speaking of which, any world quests that give you gear are also going to be really important, so make sure you do all of those. Order hall resources are also important since, like I mentioned previously, early on you'll still be needing a lot of these. For artifact knowledge, those class hall upgrades, and the reroll tokens if you want to save gold. If you still end up short though, head to coordinates 4532 in Dalaran to find the NPC Elnea Bloodthorn. She sells you a bind on account cache that gives you 200 resources at the cost of 1 Blood of Sargeras, which is a crafting material in Legion. You get these from a variety of sources, but mainly dungeons and world quests. So it's a good option if you have some extra bloods that you're willing to part with. And back to world quests, of course any quests that give you artifact power are going to be really important as well since you have some powerful traits in that thing. The next thing I recommend you do is your order hall quest chain. You should have started this at level 100, and the reason why you want to finish it is because it unlocks that 3rd relic slot in your artifact, which is essential. Some of the quests are gated and require you to complete order hall missions, so you can only complete it so fast, but just try to keep on top of it as much as you can. And the next thing you should do is unlock Suramar. Upon hitting 110, you should get a quest from Khadgar in the Violet Citadel in Dalaran. Without trying to spoil anything, he'll send you on a short quest chain that unlocks the zone. This is considered the quote-unquote endgame zone for Legion for now. It has a really long quest chain that fleshes out the story of the expansion, and also a couple of dungeons later on down the road, so you're going to want to start on this pretty quickly. The 2 dungeons in question are the Court of Stars and Archway. And to unlock them, you have to reach 8,000 out of 12,000 honored reputation with the Nightfallen, which is the faction for Suramar. Note that it is account-wide now, so if you already unlocked them on your main character, you can enter those right away on your alt. Next up, I should talk about gearing. Plenty of ways to do this. Stuff I already mentioned are those world bosses, world quests that give you gear, emissary caches, and the 3rd relic slot. You can also go down the more conventional route of dungeon running. Normal dungeons have no requirements, but heroics have a minimum of 810, and most of you won't have that as a fresh 110. And LFR has eye level requirements that vary depending on the raid. So if you don't want to spend gold, your best bet is just dungeon running and moving up to heroic when you reach 810. And if you don't mind spending gold, you can of course buy gear off of the auction house. And if you really don't mind spending gold, you can also buy something called Obliterum, which increases the eye level of crafted gear by 5 per use. That gets pretty pricey though. And like I mentioned earlier, world quests are a nice alternative for gear. One thing to note is that the eye level does scale based on your current gear. Here you see I have all of this purple gear available, but that's because my eye level is already high. If you're a fresh 110 with around an 800 eye level, you're only going to get gear that gives you 810s, 815s, and so on. So there is a bit of a ramp up, but the gear will get better and better as you gear up. At least until it caps at 845, which is the current max for 7.1.5. That's getting increased in 7.2 though. And another option is to buy your class hall sets. Head on over to the gear vendor in your class hall. The location varies for each hall. These vendors are handy early on because they do offer a full set of gear at the cost of order hall resources. This can also be an option if you have the resources to spare, but I generally don't advise investing too much into it because you do replace it rather quickly once you start running mythic dungeons or raiding or whatever you plan on doing. To buy certain pieces, you do have to complete certain achievements, so it's not 100% available right off the bat. It's stuff you won't go out of your way to do though. Collect artifact power, level reputation, and so on. Speaking of reputation, each faction does also offer gear at certain rep levels. It's worth checking out if you hit a brick wall in eye level. I'll have links to all of the vendors in the description, so check them out if you're curious. And that's basically all there is to it. Once patch 7.2 comes out, you'll also be able to unlock the Broken Shore Zone. It's pretty early on, but to do that, you just have to meet Khadgar at Crassus Landing. So, once that patch comes out, you're going to want to get a start on that zone as well since it has some really good rewards. That's about all I have to say though. I hope this helped you get started. Remember, the game starts when you hit the max level, so get out there and have some fun. I hope you found this video helpful. Like it if you liked it, and thanks for watching. Peace.